Hi everyone, we are back for another read aloud in Triplet Trouble. We're on just read chapters 1 and 2 yesterday, and remember the triplets are always causing trouble. So when Mr. Parker has decided that they would try to earn a pizza party by getting some Christmas bulbs into a jar, Sam, the person who is telling the story, is not so convinced they'll be able to do it because he's afraid the triplets are going to constantly cause them to not earn the bulb in the jar. Okay, we are at chapter 3 with Jingle Bells. And remember, it was Alex that had put all kinds of little jingle bells all through her hair, through her shoelaces, all over her. And so she's very noisy. Very Christmassy, but very noisy. Everybody sat still for silent reading. We all had books on our desks, even Alex. Mr. Parker smiled. He held up a big sign. In huge purple letters it said, "Very good." Then Mr. Parker dropped a tiny ornament in the jar. Mr. Parker wrote a sentence on the board. "There are mistakes in this sentence," he told us. "Raise your hand if you can tell me what is wrong." 15 hands shot up in the air. Mr. Parker called on a girl named Maria. "It should start with a capital letter," Maria said. Mr. Parker handed her a piece of chalk. Maria wrote a wobbly capital letter on the board. "Very good," Mr. Parker said, and then he added, "I like the way you are all raising your hands." Mr. Parker dropped an ornament in our pizza jar. "Who can find another mistake in this sentence?" Mr. Parker asked. More hands went up in the air, even Alex's. She waved her hand extra hard, but Mr. Parker called on Barbara. Barbara stood up and walked to the front of the class. She reached for the piece of chalk in Mr. Parker's hand. Barbara opened her mouth, but when she did, Alex jumped up. "A period!" Alex blurted. "The sentence needs a period." Okay, so here they all are, raising their hands. And if you think about it, what do you think is going to happen when Alex blurts out like that? Do you think they'll be earning a bulb in the jar for good behavior? Probably not. Mr. Parker frowned at Alex. "Calling out answers is not the way to earn ornaments," he reminded her. Then Mr. Parker took an ornament out of the jar. Everybody looked at Alex. Alex looked down at her toes. Well, with Alex in our class, earning a pizza party was going to be hard. Terribly hard. Here's a picture of Mr. Parker taking out the ornament out of the jar. And poor Alex. She's probably feeling actually miserable that she caused them to lose one of the bulbs, but she might need people to remind her, give her some signals or something. At recess, Adam and Ashley pulled Alex away from a game of soccer. I followed them. "You have to be quiet for the rest of the day," Alex told her, "or else we'll lose more ornaments." "Don't say a word," I said, "unless you raise your hand." "She can't do it," Ashley said. Ashley put her hands on her hips. "Alex doesn't know how to be quiet." Alex stuck out her chin. "I won't say a word. You wait and see." And then she stomped away. She jingled all the way to the school doors. I like Alex. She's my best friend. But Ashley was right. Alex could never stay quiet for too long. After recess, Mr. Parker wrote 10 math problems on the board. I worked hard to copy them onto my paper. I was good at math, but not as good as Adam. Adam was almost done, and I was still trying to figure out the third one. Alex wasn't very good at math. She chewed on the end of her eraser, and she scribbled on her paper. She shook her head. When she did, she jingled, and then she erased her scribbles. She jiggled even more. Randy looked at Alex. So did Barbara and Maria. "Shh," Randy warned, but Alex was too busy to notice. Alex tried counting on her fingers. So everybody's looking at Alex going, "Shh, be quiet." Kind of like when you're in the classroom after inside recess and one of you's peeking out the door to see when I'm going to be coming down the hall and you all go, shh, be quiet. Sometimes you're louder than whoever was making any noise to begin with all your shh. Then she tapped her pencil on her desk. She wiggled in her chair. She jingled with every move she made. Mr. Parker looked up from the papers he was grading. He looked right at Alex. Then he took a deep breath and started making red marks on the papers again. He didn't put a single ornament in our pizza jar. But at least he didn't take one away. So good thing for that. They didn't earn any, but they didn't lose any. By the end of the day, we hadn't earned another ornament for our pizza party. Before we left, Mr. Parker cleared his throat, and then he wrote with a fat black marker. He held up his new sign. It said, "No more jingle bells." And we all know that was for Alex's benefit, so she wouldn't put any more jingle bells on. So chapter 4 is called Good Behavior. Let's see, they must be talking to Alex trying to behave. I followed Alex outside to the playground. Adam and Ashley were right behind. "It's all your fault," Ashley said. "Your jingle bells kept us from earning pizza party points." "But I didn't say a word. A single word," Alex told him. "Just like I promised." And she's actually right. That is the truth. She said that she would work very hard not to talk, not to speak out. And she didn't, but she jingled. "Alex is right," I said. "She didn't say anything." "But her jingle bells did," Adam said. "They made too much noise." "Everything Alex does makes too much noise," Ashley added. "When Adam gets mad, he says things that make Alex mad. Adam was mad now." Okay, so we can see the argument and sassing and fighting is going to start. And this one right here, this is Alex. She's got all the jingle bells in her hair. And this is Sam, Ashley, and Adam right here. Okay, let's see what Adam is going to say. "When Adam gets mad, he says things that make Alex mad. Adam was mad now. We'll never earn enough ornaments as long as Alex is in our class," he said. Even though that's his sister, he probably shouldn't be saying that. Alex jingled when she stomped her foot. "That's not true, is it, Sam?" Alex looked at me. So did Adam and Ashley. I like Ashley and Adam, but when they gang up on Alex, there is bound to be trouble. I didn't answer Alex. Instead, I looked up in the sky. It was snowing. It had been snowing since lunchtime. "Let's forget about jingle bells," I said. "Let's play in the snow." Sam sounds like he's trying to change the subject. He really doesn't want to deal with all this fighting and pick sides. "All right," Alex said, and she jumped up and her bells jingled. They sounded like sleigh bells. "Last one to the sled is a rotten egg." We ran all the way home. I got my sled and gave my dog Cleo a ride over to the Tuckers' backyard. Actually, my sled is not a real sled. It's just a big piece of plastic that's curled on one end, but it really slides. Okay, and there's Sam with his dog Cleo, and he's pulling this. This is the sled that he uses. It's just a piece of plastic. It's curled on one end. He says it works well. The Tuckers were already sliding down the little hill in their backyard. "Yee-haw!" Alex yelled. She twirled around and around on her sled. Her sled is the lid of a garbage can. So they're being very creative. They don't have slides and sleds themselves, but they're using other things to slide. They're being very creative. "Aw!" Ashley screamed as she landed in a heap at the bottom of the hill. Her shiny green plastic sled landed right on top of her. Bump! In 2 seconds, Adam smashed into her with his big piece of plastic. Adam and Alex jumped up and raced back up the hill. "Come on," Alex called. Clea barked and ran up the hill after Alex. I stopped and pulled Ashley up. We got out of the way just in time. Alex and Cleo came sailing down the hill together. Cleo howled and Alex jingled. They looked like a crazy elf and reindeer. Here's the picture of everyone sliding down the hill. You can see the dog going down on the sled. Down the hill we flew all afternoon. The wind whipped our faces. This is just like flying, I told Alex. Sometimes I would pretend my sled was an airplane. I zipped through the sky with Cleo, Alex, Ashley, and Adam. Finally, I heard my dad calling. Sam, he yelled, time for supper. I didn't want to go, but I was hungry and my face was cold. Alex looked cold too. Her ears were bright red. Ashley, Adam, and I had on hats, but not Alex. A hat wouldn't fit over her jingle bells. I just hoped that tomorrow Alex would forget her jingle bells. If she didn't, we'd never earn a pizza party. And that's the end of chapter 4. We'll see what happens in chapter 5 to see if Alex is going to give up the jingle bells and try to behave and earn the Christmas ornaments in the jar. Okay, until next time. Bye, everyone.